Ryan Reynolds estelariza Free Guy, la historia de un tipo común y corriente que descubre que es un personaje sin importancia dentro de uno de los videojuegos más populares del mundo y quien, al tomar conciencia de esto, decide luchar por salvar su ciudad y encontrar el amor verdadero.
Hi, Walter.
Yeah, so happy to talk to you, man. I'm wearing cologne.
Thank you.
Now, I read somewhere that this film was classic Ryan Reynolds humor, and I was wondering, how would you describe what's classic Ryan Reynolds humor?
Well, I feel like I would sound like a bit of an asshole if I started a sentence that way. I don't know what classic Ryan Reynolds humor is. I certainly don't think Free Guy is like anything I've done before. I mean, I think it certainly acknowledges and plays with the cultural landscape. Maybe that's something I do a bit. But I don't, that phrasing it like that, I have no idea. I don't know. Sorry.
Keeping in line with the theme of the movie, if you had the ability or if you had the code to rewrite any part of the movie making process in order to make it better or easier, which part of the process would it be and how would you make it easier?
I find that, this is a movie where it was took a village kind of thing where, Matt Lieberman wrote the original script, Zach Penn did a rewrite, I did a rewrite, Shawn did a rewrite. Oftentimes Shawn and I would write together, sitting on trains because we were commuting from New York to Boston on weekends. And I suppose that the hardest part is exposition. Like I find exposition to be a really kind of nauseating thing to write. And I find action sequences, I love to see action sequences, but to write them out is just brutal. So if there was like an app that could just do that for you, I would really appreciate it. If any of you guys know of one or want to invent one, I will happily use it.
I'm sorry.
Hi, pura vida.
Pura vida, you know our national motto. That's great.
I do.
So you have an obscene amount of cameos and Easter eggs in this film. I would like to know, how was it the process of choosing, clearing, and filtering? Which ones would you use for the movie?
Well, there are a lot of cameos and there are a lot of Easter eggs, and some of them are obvious and some of them are much more subtle. And I bet you didn't even notice all of them if you've only seen the movie for the first time. Easter eggs were basically invented in video game culture, but also Ryan Reynolds, from his Deadpool movies especially, he really believes in the value of Easter eggs that people discover through conversation on social media. As we all know, Ryan is a marketing genius and very conscious of social media, and he likes planting little seeds that people can discover and tell each other about. Clearing it was in some cases a little complicated. Like I think we have something from Halo that took a lot of emails and phone calls, but the truth is that the big cameos, the famous cameos, whether it was people or objects, that was me or Ryan picking up the phone and asking. And we were lucky. A lot of people said yes.
Making all those calls to get the cameos in this movie. I mean, that to me gave me real faith and belief in the fact that Hollywood, like a lot of places, is an actual community where people sort of step up for each other. Because some of these people that are cameoing in the movie, they've asked me to do cameos in their movies and I've said yes. And just the fact that like that exchange actually works. Like I was like, this is happening. Like I did something for your movie and you're now doing something for mine. It was like it was very gratifying.
Shawn, you obviously had a great collaboration with Ryan. He's such an integral part of the film. But I would like to know, as a director, what are the pros and cons of relying so heavily on your lead? So much so that I think that if there was a different person on the lead, it would have been a whole different project.
I always rely on my cast in a massive way. I guess there's some directors where their genre is stronger than the stars, right? Like Baz Luhrmann, a Baz Luhrmann movie is always a Baz Luhrmann movie.
Yeah.
A Wes Anderson movie is always a Wes movie. But my movies, sometimes they're comedy, sometimes they're sci-fi. But my first love is my actors. Those are the kinds of movies I make. And it's probably because my first and biggest love is actors.
It's great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.